I want to talk about pot calling just a little bit, and some of the things I do each and every year that makes me pull out a pot call and use it very effectively. Now, I'm primarily a mouth caller. You know, I love a mouth call and I love a tube call. So most of the season I'm on a mouth call or a tube call. You know, that's kind of my go-to. That's what I have the most confidence in during the turkey season. But there are some days when you're just going to get them to gobble at a slate call more than you will anything else. All right, and so what I like to use a slate call is when I can't get them to gobble at anything else. You know, and I'm just trying to locate a turkey. But probably one of my favorite things to do is also sound like multiple hens. If there's a henned up gobbler out there, or there's a gobbler that's hung up out there, I'm going to try to sound like multiple hens. And it's just so easy to do when you have a slate call or a pot call in your hand and a mouth call in your mouth too, and you're trying to sound like multiple hens. So that's a big time when I am on a pot call, when I'm trying to get that gobbler that's hung up out there, say he's 70, 80, 90 yards out there and he's just not committed to come in. And when you can sound like multiple hens, man, a lot of times that will break him and just come right on in. But you need a call, like a mouth call that you can get soft, and also a slate call where you can get real soft too. You don't want to get very loud when he's that close and he's just hung up out there. So where a tube call would be a little bit too loud, or a box call might be a little bit too loud, a good pot call is the answer when you're trying to get really subtle sounds along with your mouth call. So when you can practice that mouth calling and slate calling at the same time and sound like multiple hens, that is a big plus on your side of getting that turkey committed to come on into you when he's hung up. So that's something to remember. And that's why you always need a good pot call. Now, something else I do a lot on a pot call, and especially when I've got a henned up gobbler that's out there and I'm trying to challenge him. You know, maybe I'm trying to challenge that gobbler as pecking order, and I'm trying to get him to leave them hens a little bit and come to me, or I'm trying to fire up that lead hen to get her ticked off to come to me, is I want to do fighting purrs. Fighting purrs is tremendous to do on a slate call. And that's why I love a slate. And when I say fighting purr, we all know what that sounds like. Just, you know, just kind of rubbing that striker, you know. Sound like them turkeys up there fighting, all right? Many, many times I've done that right there and caused a gobbler to break and come in really quick, all right? I have done that several times. So a slate call is just really easy to do that with. And that's why I keep one in my vest all the time. Even though you may not see me use them a lot on video or when I'm out hunting, I'm always ready, you know, to use one when the situation is right. And so fighting purrs is tremendous to do on a slate call, and that will get you a lot of times that gobbler to unhang and come running in, or get him to maybe leave that hen that he's with, 2 or 3 hens, and come a little ways into range for you, and you may be able to harvest that turkey just by doing that because it challenges him. Or you can, like I said, get that lead hen fired up and her come in to see what's going on and drag the gobbler in with her, and you can harvest him that way. So slate calls are tremendous. They're just absolutely tremendous. And like I said, this is mine. You know, this is the slate or the glass over slate call that Spring Fever custom calls, the Matt Dell Signature Series Old Sly. So go out and go over there and check them out. And I'll tell you what, you'll be really happy with this call. But whatever call you use, if you could just remember fighting purrs and sounding like multiple hens on a pot call, many, many times is exactly the formula that you need on that day in order to be successful. So yeah, you know, I get asked a lot about, you know, what's your opinion on pot calls. We don't see you using them very much, but man, I love them. I absolutely love them, and I use them all the time. So go check them out at springfevercustomcalls.com, the Old Sly Matt Dell Signature Series slate, and who knows, it might be the very call this coming year that's going to get you that gobbler, and you'll be packing him out, and you'll be glad you had one. So run over there and get you one, and start practicing before season, using that mouth call and using a slate call together, and buddy, that might just be the ticket that you need on that day to harvest that gobbler. didn't it? What did I say at 8 o'clock? I said just give them some time. We spooked them, give them some time. And it was about an hour, and they started gobbling again. Just started hammering them, just cutting and going, you know, mouth call, slate call. They was just, you know, he was just fired up. There was 2 of them. And then when I moved to that last place, I hammered them again, and they came back, and he stayed over there for the longest time. I could see him out there strutting, but I just went quiet. You just got to go quiet. 45 minutes of sitting there, not saying a word. Here he comes. And they just kept gobbling, wanting me to respond to them, and I wouldn't do it.